Nigeria prepares for the inauguration of yet another democratically elected president in a few days. Members of the executive arm of government are already counting down to when they will step aside for a new team to man the saddle in different capacities. The transfer of baton will extend to the National Assembly, although in this case, some 7 members will return, having secured the mandate of their people. We will be interacting with a member of the House of Representatives who is also a member-elect. Top on the agenda for this episode is the legislative agenda for the 10th National Assembly. You will meet my guest in a moment. I'm on NTA Fine Face, and this is the mandate. My guest of the program is a lecturer turned politician. By the way, he is a fellow alumnus of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where he bagged his bachelor and master's degree in sociology before taking his academic pursuit outside, all the way to the Royal Institute of Public Administration and International Human Resource Development Corporation in Boston, United States of America. My guest is Honorable Fulata Hassan Abubakar, member representing and member-elect, Breniwa Guri Kasama Federal Constituency of Jigawa State. Welcome to the program, Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, it's always our pleasure to meet fellow alumnus of the ABU. Do you remember the slogan, "An Abu site is naturally ahead of you"? You remember that?
Certainly.
Certainly, okay.
Yeah.
All right, before we talk about your legislative agenda in the 10th National Assembly, I would like you to do a quick review of your service so far in the House of Representatives. If you meet your colleagues in the Department of Sociology, ABU Zaria, what would you share with them as the biggest impact you have made in representing your people at the National Assembly?
Well, we have this academic adage that the issue for an intellectual is not a mere interpretation of society.
Okay.
The fundamental issue is to change society. My academic pursuit in the university has afforded me the opportunity to read a lot of literature, problems, societal problems, and my sojourn in politics has afforded me the opportunity to change people's lives. This has been my fundamental, this will be the fundamental story that I will tell my colleagues, that I have been able to fundamentally change my society.
Having experienced the sweetness of politics, will you be going back to the classroom?
Certainly, if the opportunity comes, I will still go back to the classroom. In fact, I will be a very good and excellent teacher if I were to go back to the classroom. But for now, I'm representing my people. I have a mandate to represent my people.
And we're talking about that mandate
Yes.
for the program.
Yeah.
You have been really busy looking at your active participation on the floor of the House, motions moved and bills sponsored. I noticed that a lot of the bills have to do with the establishment of educational institutions. What is the level of success with those bills in terms of the number of institutions established through your legislative engagement?
Well, you see, education is the key. The Chinese say, if you are planning for a season, say plant corn. If you are planning for a decade, say plant tree. If you are planning for life, educate and train men.
Okay.
Education is the key to success, to societal development, to anything that you can imagine. So I prioritize education in terms of my legislative engagement because, to me, education is central to human development.
Well, let's look at the successes. Those bills, have they resulted in the establishment of the institutions you had in mind?
Yes, certainly.
Which
certainly.
of them and how are those
Yeah,
ones impacting?
I sponsored 15 bills.
Yes.
The president has assented to one. That is the creation of Federal College of Agriculture in Krikasama. Another one is coming, hopefully, where I'm praying that before the end of this administration next week, I will have other bills assented to by Mr. President.
Okay, my next question is twofold. quickly, do you think that you have done well in providing effective legislation for members of your constituency? Do you think you've done well?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge,
You have done well.
I have done well.
Why are you back to the National Assembly if you've done well?
The more I'm challenged, because my society, the people I'm representing a fairly agrarian rural society that don't have a lot of infrastructure. My constituency is challenged in terms of roads. It is challenged in terms of schools. It is challenged in terms of the agricultural facilities. It is challenged in terms of education institutions a lot. So I have done small efforts. I've done some few efforts, but then I'm still challenged because the society that I'm representing is challenged. So I feel that there is more for me to do.
Okay, we'll come to all of that. Now that we are talking about the mandate you secured to represent your people again, tell me, what is your legislative agenda for the 10th National Assembly? Just mention them quickly, if you may, the key areas of priority you hope to focus on.
My key area of priorities.
Number 1.
Agriculture.
Okay. 2.
Education.
Okay. What next?
Infrastructure, rural infrastructure, roads.
Infrastructure. Okay, yeah. What?
Yeah.
Any other one? You had shown interest in water resources. I was expecting you to mention water resources. That is one of the areas you seem to have liked so much as a legislator. Is that the part of your priority?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is still. Okay. It is still.
Let's talk about agriculture.
Yes.
What have you done in the past assembly, and what do you intend to do differently to achieve better results as far as agriculture is concerned for your constituency?
For the past 8 years, I've been battling with the officials of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to create 3 earth dams.
Okay.
Earth dams to facilitate dry season agriculture in my area. Budgetary provisions have been made all these years. However, the amount so provided could not construct even a single dam. 100 million cannot do a single dam. So they kept on repeating those budget provisions. And up to now, the project could not go beyond consultancy services awarded to see for feasibility studies. So this is one of my biggest challenges. I want my people to have, to be farming, producing throughout the year, regardless of the season. So this has been one of my biggest priorities, and by the grace of God, I will continue the struggle until I see to it that I have 3 major dams.
In 8 years, you didn't get any.
I didn't get any.
What makes you so sure that in the next 4 years, you'll get 3?
By the grace of God, I will.
And how do you intend to pursue that so that you get it?
The best, I've always belonged to the House Committee on Water Resources. However, each time the argument has always been that it is an envelope, and that the envelope is an envelope budgeting, and that the envelope so given to the Ministry of Water Resources is not adequate enough to go around and to give me 3 earth dams.
Okay.
That has been, but I will keep on trying until such a time that I'm able to get it.
Well, I don't know that when we enter the hydrological year, Jigawa State will likely face some level of flooding. Does the flooding affect your constituency as well?
Certainly it does.
Well, that in itself is an opportunity, because if you have the dams, like you mentioned earlier, that would have given you the opportunity to retain water when it is aplenty.
That's it.
And they rely on it when there is none.
Yeah, the area is floodplain.
Yeah.
Most of my area is floodplain. Construction of dams will enable the area to benefit from storage, big storage. Even when you store the water, you want to dump the water and store it in a very big places, in a very big reservoir, a lot of the community will be safe because the water is retained. If there's no dam, the water will flow anyhow and destroy farmlands, communities, buildings, so forth. Okay. It's a routine now. It's a perennial.
Yeah, of course it is. Education is one of the central areas of your interest in the outgoing legislation of the National Assembly, and it is another priority area for you for the 10th Assembly.
Certainly.
What are your targets as far as education is concerned?
Yes. Well, I've just told you that I've gotten Mr. President approval to create Federal College of Agriculture in Kirikasam.
Yeah, and then going forward.
Federal College of Education, Briniwa, is on the table of Mr. President as I speak to you now.
Okay.
I'm also into creating many ICT institutions in my constituency. So far, I've built 4. And I will do more. ICT is the main thing now. The information technology is the in thing, and I want my society, my constituency, to be up to date with the world.
Good. Are you doing all of this because you think that's what your people need, or because your people say that is what they want?
Yes.
What's the push?
Is what they need,
or what they say they want?
Yes. What I want corresponds with the needs of my people. Okay,
so what you're doing corresponds with their need.
Yes.
And how do you come by that?
By their demands, requests.
Okay.
Requests. There may be a time when students, both beginning from primary schools, secondary schools, up to tertiary institutions, will stop writing exams with this pen that you are holding.
Okay.
That's good. Most examinations will be computer-based.
Yes.
So if you are not computer literate, you will not be able to cope. Yes. This is one of my targets.
That's true. Okay.
Yes.
Let's jump to the next one, infrastructure. Other than agriculture, like you said, and education, what other areas of infrastructure are you looking at? Of course, your constituency is rural, so I expect it to be rural infrastructure. So what are the areas of infrastructure? Not just the areas, but how do you hope to get the infrastructural development you talk about?
As I speak to you, there's no third road to my village, my village where I was born.
No third road?
No, as I speak to you, there's no third road to my village.
Isn't that a concern for you that even after 8 years, you don't get attracted?
Yes, the same story. The monies that are allocated to me, normally 100,000, 200,000, the road, I've started constructing the road, but up to now, it's about 25-kilometer road, but up to now, we've not been able to accomplish 10 kilometers. So annually, the amounts, some amounts are budgeted, but the amounts so budgeted are not adequate enough to do the job.
So that's a big concern. Yes. If you're representing an agrarian constituency and there is no road for them, how do they move their farm produce?
This is the challenge. Also, as I speak to you, only 2 weeks ago, I was able to provide electricity to my ward. The ward I'm representing, my immediate ward, that is Lafia ward, consisting of 3 villages, Lafia, Madamawa, and Arin. For all these years, I was only able to provide them with electricity 2 weeks ago. The project has been going, but because of the challenge in terms of funding, we've not been able to accomplish the task until 2 weeks ago.
You want to talk about water resources now?
Yes.
That's the 4th one.
Yes.
On your priority list.
Yes.
Other than the damming, is there something else you want to achieve in terms of water resources?
Yes. The area I'm representing is semi-arid, especially Borneo local government. Semi-arid, because it's semi-arid, the water table is so deep. It is very difficult to get water. So it's one of my challenges. I've been providing a lot of motorized solar panel boreholes. I've done a lot, but I need to do more. These are one of the...
And the need to do more is our concern for the 10th National
Certainly.
Assembly. As chairman, House Committee on Roads and Business, I assume that you have a lot of influence among your colleagues to be able to pool support to achieve some of these things?
Certainly.
Well, if that didn't come in the 9th Assembly, when you are in that committee, we don't know which committee you get in the 10th Assembly, but do you think you can get the kind of support you need to get the buy-in of your colleagues to push for the achievement of some of these targets?
But regardless of the office one occupies, there is always synergy amongst members.
Okay.
Apart from the Rules and Business Committee that I chair, I'm also a member of several other committees. I'm a member of about 6 committees. Okay? So I'm just chairing one committee.
Yeah.
I'm also a member of other committees.
Okay.
So those committees, I can also lobby my colleagues to facilitate certain projects for me.
Okay.
That is how we operate.
Okay. Well, when I was reading up about your membership of the House, I observed I didn't hear anything about your interests, maybe not directly, to get into any of the principal positions in the House. Do you have interests as a person for any of the offices in the House?
I'm not contesting for any of the 2 positions being contested now, meaning Speaker and Deputy Speaker.
Okay.
But I'm supporting the candidature of Honorable Ahmed Idris Wase. It's my candidate. The current Deputy Speaker who had served the Speaker and the House loyally and efficiently and effectively.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you for that, as far as the...
Okay, well, that's not all completely for me, because
Yes. Yeah.
the next question will now be, is that in line with what the party is doing? Isn't that in opposition to the language of the party, to the body language of your party?
No, it's not an issue of body language. The party...
But you're a party man.
I'm a party man.
Do you believe that party is supreme?
Yeah, party is supreme. Yes, I agree. Party is supreme.
But there is a but in this case.
But there are also, the party also is governed by rules and regulations.
Okay.
The party is also bound by all legal statutes of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, from the Constitution. If you look at the Constitution, the chapter dealing with directive principles of chapter this 2 or 3,
Okay.
which requires equity,
Okay.
fairness to all Nigerians.
Where is the inequity in the position of the party?
Good. Now, all the positions were zoned.
Yes.
For example, the Senate President was zoned to South-South. The Deputy Senate President, in line with the thinking of the party, is zoned to Northwest. So also the speakership. Almost all those zones where APC as a party performed well were given very critical principal officer position.
Okay.
Unfortunately, North Central, where we have 6 states, out of the 6, all 5 are APC.
So
and
your
not
own
a
interest
single
now is
position.
about the performance of your party, not
Yes.
about the sense of equality in the sharing.
Yeah, you have to. There's equity. Now, if it is said that, for example, that this sharing was based on consensus, as the party used. Consensus means, if you go to the Electoral Act that we promulgated in 2022,
Okay.
Section 89, subsection section 84, subsection 84,
Okay.
subsection 9, ABC.
Okay.
Okay. What does it say about consensus? All parties, all contending parties, have to agree in writing
Okay.
to concede a particular position to a particular single candidate.
Okay.
In this case, we did not follow that provision.
Okay.
If you remember, before the primaries that brought in President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
Yes.
there was a pronouncement that someone other than Tinubu has been anointed to be the consensus candidate for the presidency, if you recall.
Yes. And it was kicked against.
Yeah, vehemently. The party, everybody opposed. See, there must be, if it is a consensus, and we rose to the occasion, the National Assembly, we promulgated that particular, we took interest in that particular section. Yes, that if there were to be consensus, then certainly it has to be written. It must be with a written consent. The party does not dictate. Okay, if you are still talking of consensus, then all the other candidates, no matter their number, in this case for about 6 or 7, yes, including those that don't have any single person backing them. But if
how would you know they don't have anybody backing?
Yes.
So that's by the way.
Yeah, that's by the way. So all the party ought to have brought all the contending candidates, yes, to sign the consent that yes, if it's a consensus, we have agreed that such a single individual should go in for the speakership. The others can go for, someone can go for if it is consensus, with written consent. Yeah. In this case, it has not happened.
Honorable, what is it about Idris Wase that makes you think, other than him, you cannot root for someone else or accept someone else? What special thing is he bringing on?
Oh, I've seen him serve in various capacities. He's been in the House since 2007, served in several other committees, but I worked with him in the 8th, 9th, and I worked with him in the 10th Assembly.
You will work with him in the 10th?
By the grace of God.
Okay.
He's a man of honor, very straightforward, a lot of institutional memory.
You mentioned 3
energy.
Honor,
yes,
straightforward,
yes,
institutional memory, just
yes,
added energy to it.
Yes.
Is any of these lacking in what the party is putting forward as leadership?
I'm not saying it is lacking. The first thing I talked about was the issue of equity. Okay. You don't pack one zone with, by the way, I'm from Northwest. Yes. Yes. Given that Northwest has the most population, but APC won only 2 states in Northwest. My state, Jigawa, okay, and Zamfara State.
So that's why you think that might not be the best place to pitch the tent.
Yeah, so you don't give Northwest
but
all
you're
the
not
positions.
Just speaker of APC, you're not just speaker of states and zones where APC did well at the elections.
You
are speaker
for
of
Nigeria.
The House, the of Nigeria.
Yes,
so
but
shouldn't that take precedence?
But the speaker
over where APC
yes
led better.
But the speaker came about through a democratic process. You contested election, people voted for you. Those of us who contest, some of us that contested under different political parties, yes, could not make it. Yes. Or they were defeated by other political parties. That's why they are not back.
Yes.
Yeah.
The polls.
So you are speaker for Nigeria, but you must be a representative of a constituency.
Of course. But
so without the constituency,
over the national
without the mandate of the constituency, okay, you cannot represent Nigeria. You cannot
don't you think with all of these tussles, you are giving room to the main opposition, other opposition parties, to maybe exploit the opportunity and influence the outcome?
Well, the process of
the speakership.
The process of electing in all assemblies, the process of electing the leaders has always been rancorous. Okay. In all the assemblies.
Must it always be?
It must be, yes.
Okay.
Because you are dealing with a very serious institution. Okay. Institution of the National Assembly, an institution that makes laws.
Okay. And without time, as much as I would love us to continue with this conversation, yes, I'm afraid we have to draw it to close.
Yes.
Yes or no? Do you think on this matter, party can be supreme?
The supremacy of the party is within the context of the law.
Okay, we'll rest it at that. I wish you plenty of luck, though, as you strive to deliver the goods for the good people of your constituency. The mandate comes up Mondays at 10:05 p.m., Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Join us on the program. Thank you very much, Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata.
Thank you.
Member-elect and member Breniwa Guri Kuri Kasama Federal Constituency of Jigawa State.
Thank you very much.
My name is Onengie Fineface. Bye for now.